When we talk about digestion, it helps to look at how different organs release fluids and enzymes that break food into small pieces the body can use, and then see how the intestines absorb these nutrients and move them into the bloodstream or the lymph system so the cells can use them for energy, growth, and repair. Different parts of the digestive tract release different types of secretion, and each one has a specific job in breaking down food. And the mouth releases saliva that starts carbohydrate digestion. The stomach releases acid and enzymes to break proteins, and the pancreas and liver add important fluids into the small intestine. And when you look at all these together, digestion becomes a steady and organized process. Saliva keeps food moist and helps form a bolus that can move easily down the esophagus, and it contains an enzyme called amylase that starts breaking starch into smaller sugars even before the food reaches the stomach. And saliva also contains mucus to protect the mouth and help movement, and small amount of lysozyme that reduce bacteria. And this shows how digestion actually begins the moment food enters the mouth. The stomach releases gastric juice of mix hydrochloric acid, enzymes, and mucus, and the acid helps unfold proteins and kills many microbes that enter with food. And the main enzyme in the stomach is pepsin, which begins the breakdown of protein into smaller fragments. And mucus protects the stomach lining from being damaged by the strong acid. And all of this prepares the food for the small intestine where most digestion continues. The pancreas releases a fluid rich in enzymes that target all major nutrients, and it sends this fluid into the small intestine through a duct during digestion. And this fluid includes pancreas, amylase, and carbohydrates, lipase for fats, and several proteases like trypsin for proteins. And the pancreas also releases bicarbonate, which neutralizes the acidic contents coming from the stomach so enzymes can work properly in the small intestine. The liver produces bile, and the gallbladder stores and releases it when needed, especially during meals with fat. And bile does not break fat chemically but helps break it into small droplets in a process called emulsification, which gives enzymes more surface area to work on. And without bile, fat digestion becomes slow and incomplete, making this secretion essential for handling dietary fats. The small intestine produces its own secretion that contains mucus and digestive enzymes, and it also has enzymes attached to the brush border of its cells that complete the final steps of digestion. And these enzymes break carbohydrates into simple sugars and proteins into single amino acids or small peptides. And this close contact between enzymes and nutrients make the absorption process much more efficient. Most absorption happens in the small intestine, and nutrients enter the cells of the intestinal lining using different transport systems. And simple sugars and amino acids usually use carriers that move them into the bloodstream, while fasts follow a different path, entering lymph vessels as chylomicrons before eventually reaching the blood. And the structure of a small intestine with villi and microvilli increases the surface area greatly, making absorption very effective. The intestine absorbs large amount of water every day, and this process is linked closely with absorption and electrolytes like sodium and chloride. And when sodium is absorbed, water follows it naturally, helping maintain the body's fluid balance. And the large intestine continues to process by absorbing water and forming solid waste from the remaining material. Digestive secretion and absorption processes work together in a way that keeps digestion smooth and efficient. And hormones and nerve signals help adjust these processes based on type of food eaten and the body's needs at that moment. And this coordination ensures that nutrients are handled properly, waste is removed, and the body gets what it needs without unnecessary loss of energy.